Everybody recognizes that China has achieved great economic success. Having 10% growth for the last 3 decades is an accomplishment that is quite unique. But Chinese officials have been recognizing for the last few years that the growth model of China has been, the way they describe it, unbalanced, uncoordinated, unsustainable. It was a growth model based on capital-intensive growth as opposed to labor-intensive growth, resource-oriented growth as opposed to efficient use of resources, as the minister just told us. Too much investment compared to consumption, too much industry and manufacturing relative to services, too much exports compared to domestic demand, and too much emphasis on the quantity of growth as opposed to the quality of growth and caring about the environment. And last night we heard the Vice Premier expressing both the strengths and some of the fragilities of the Chinese economy. He pointed out that there is a massive excess capacity in a number of sectors: steel, cement, glass, aluminum, and one could add also in other industrial sectors, in real estate, in infrastructure, because investment is 50% of GDP. He spoke about the imbalanced growth and the stress and importance of having quality of growth rather than quantity and dealing with the environment. He did not refer this time around, but I've heard him in the past speaking about the increasing leverage in the economy, 250% of GDP driven by this excessive investment. But he also pointed out to us finally what we were asking: what will be the new growth target of China for the next 5 years? There was debate on whether it would be closer to 6% or 7%. The number he pointed out was a growth target or goal of 6.5% to 7%. Now, let's think about how this is consistent or not consistent with the achievement of a more balanced growth that is more consumption, labor-intensive, service, quality rather than quantity. A bunch of studies by Chinese officials, including the Development Research Center of the State Council, suggest that given demographics, given the fall in investment rate, and given a slower total factor productivity growth, potential growth in China by the end of the decade will be closer to 5% rather than 6.5% and 7%. So if potential growth is closer to 5%, and by the way, with aging of population and labor-intensive growth, you can have full employment even with 5% growth, so you're not going to have any issue of social stability. Then the question is, what are the implications of trying to achieve a growth rate of 6.5% to 7%? My view is that you'll still have more excess capacity, as you'll have to maintain investment at levels that are too high to have a growth rate of that level. The leverage ratio of the economy is going to increase because the only way to maintain a growth rate above potential is to have credit fuel fixed investment. And there's a trade-off between economic growth and quality of environment. I remember that a few years ago, a delegation of us met with former Prime Minister Wen, and he said, we studied the economic experience of US, Europe, Japan to figure out whether we can grow fast while improving the environment. And he said, honestly, the reality is there is a trade-off. If you want to grow faster, the environment is going to worsen. And if you want to improve the environment, you have to accept slower growth. So 7% growth implies not being able to do as much on the environment as you might want. So I'm not sure if this particular growth target is consistent fully with the objective of making growth rate more quality-oriented, labor-intensive, consumption, and cleaning up the environment and less use of resources. In some sense, if you want to rebalance growth in the right direction, you have to accept slower economic growth. You have to accelerate reforms. You have to do, for example, SOE reforms that require shutting down firms that have excess capacity. You need financial reforms that impose losses, that avoid moral hazard, and give a better allocation of savings and investment of credit, rather than continuing bailing out local governments or SOEs or others. And probably there is the need of using the balance sheet of the state to improve the social safety net, because if people are going to lose jobs in some firms and sectors and move to other sectors, of course you need unemployment benefits, healthcare, pensions, so on, rather than using the balance sheet of the government to do new rounds of credit-fueled infrastructure that has been the response for the last few years and the response till today. So I think there is an open question of whether the objectives of growth of 6.5% to 7% are consistent with a rebalancing of growth and accelerating the kind of structural reform that are needed to make the growth rate more sustainable and more balanced.